Hello peeps, how you doing? We're down here in Hackney, Gillette Square. Time now is about 2:30, 3 p.m. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of November. Yeah, 4th of November. Time flies. Temperature is about, it's around 10 degrees, 10, 12 degrees. You know, if the wind blows, it's a bit colder. And I don't know if you could hear it, but just as we start to speak, somebody's come along and they run in a sub-bass speaker from their car. So whether there's a low rumble or whether the sound can pick it up, but that's just the nature of the business. Just as you start, somebody starts to do something to interact with what you're doing. Anyway, so back again. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of November, 2020. Time now is about 2:30, 3 p.m. We are in Hackney. This is Gillette Square. Hackney Market is just around the corner, Wrigley Road. A little bit about this square. This square, it's a square where people hang around, and I'll say black folks hang around, and they just chill out and stuff. But I don't know whether you could see, there's a mural and there's fencing. They actually redeveloping the square itself. On the other side, which you can't see, is the Vortex. Right across the square was a wine bar. The owner had died. I had worked in there a few years back with some friends, and I've been there when they've actually had events in there. And I've done the Windrush, a webcast, Windrush from the square, and my friend Eugene Paul had performed. I don't know if you've seen that video, but Eugene had performed in that club just across the square there. Yeah, just doing a little diary.
I do that as well.
Yeah, it stops you going mad.
I hear that. Get it out.
Yeah, that's the other thing that stops you going mad.
That's true. It can also hurt you a lot physically. You know.
But you know, when you're in pain, it's beautiful to be alive.
That's true, man. But when you're in pain, it can make it painful to be alive.
All right, so across there is a nightclub. It's a wine bar. It's closed down now. The owner's died. So I've actually worked in that nightclub. So as you see the square here, people are using the square there, roller coaster, skateboarding. You know, but it's going through changes. It will be transformed, and they'll probably stop all of this, or because it's been gentrified, the residents they don't want these kind of activities. So 10 degrees. We're in autumn. Today is the 4th of November. Lockdown. Tomorrow, the 5th of November, which is Fireworks Day. In the UK, we're about to go into a higher tier of lockdown. Now, we've always been in some kind of lockdown, whereas we've had a curfew. We've had a curfew now for a couple of months where everything shuts down at 10 p.m. But now all the leisure, the restaurants and the pubs, they just got to be closed. They from tomorrow, actually from midnight tonight, all the leisure, entertainment, restaurants, pubs, that'll be closed down. There are some exceptions. It might be the keep fit places and essential services. But in general, everything's shut down. We're not supposed to visit anybody. No one's supposed to visit us. The only people that's supposed to visit us are people in our personal circle, or they're looking after us, or it's an emergency, or it's medical. Absolutely no social. From midnight tonight, the 5th of November 2020, here in London. So that's where we're at. At this moment now, it's on the high street. People are in a little bit of a daze kind of mindset because they don't know what's happening. Some people are aware, but I think the people who are aware is just one or two people. And the people where is one or two people. The rest, there's a mass of people who haven't got a clue of what is happening. So tomorrow, when they see suddenly 3/4 of all the establishments closed down, then they're going to realize something is happening. They're probably going to go into a bit of a panic. They're going to be panic buying. Today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday, so by the weekend, I reckon there's going to be panic buying. People's going to be buying up the toilet papers as per usual, and then after a week or so, people's going to calm down a bit. Now, in this square, just across the other side, there's a couple of people I normally do business with, and one is a takeaway, and he will continue to function. I'm not going to say that he has actually thrived in the situation, but he's one of the essential services that's got to remain open, and the government would give that more assistance than anything else. So there are a couple of people across the road there. That's why one of the reasons I'm down in Square. Plus, I went to the market today. Tomorrow there might be, when people realize there's a lockdown, a higher tier of lockdown in force tomorrow, then they're gonna start to panic a little bit more. But for me, if you watch my webcasts, videocasts, I've been making mention of the lockdown for a long time now. Whether you believe in it or not, we've got no choice. It will be enforced. People are fined. People are, the shops are shut. If you continue to break the rules, you'll be fined. So, we've got no choice. What I've got to admire about Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, an hour or two ago I was watching a little bit of interaction with him with the normal Wednesday Commons parliamentary question time. Keir Starmer, the opposition, so they were the opposition Labour Party leader at the moment was trying to pin Boris Johnson down to say that this lockdown, right? So they're not calling it a curfew. This is a lockdown now. It starts tomorrow, or starts midnight tonight, and it is said that the 2nd of December, which is almost 4 weeks, a month, But my reckoning is that in order to keep the virus under control, the lockdown will have to continue all the way through the autumn, which is like now, and within a month or so, we're going to be in the winter season where it's going to be much more colder. If it ain't snowing, it's going to be rain. And we're going to have a massive increase in respiratory problems, normal problems, which is caused by the cold weather. And there's a normal mortality when it comes to winter. So all that's going to be mixed in with the virus. But what I've got to admire Boris Johnson for is that he kept it going until the last minute. And even though he told everybody, yeah, it's okay, we're not going to have a lockdown, he kept it going, he kept the economy going, he kept things going up until the last minute. Now it's got so much contamination, or so much people are infected, that he now has to call for the lockdown. And but then he's still saying to people, well, after 4 weeks, the lockdown is going to ease. I don't believe that. If anybody's got any sense, all the information, all the figures is out there. If you have a half decent education, that's the beauty about the Western world, is that everybody's got to go to school, everybody's got to get an education, so you can participate in society, have a job. So part of it is actually understanding what is going on. Also, part of enforcing what is going on, if you understand what is going on. You know, so you can work for government, you could be working local council, you know, either in housing, either in cleaning, you know, even if you clean the streets or empty the bins, you're still part of the local council. And there's care services, old people's home, there's a hospital, working for the hospital indirectly, that's the government. If you're teaching indirectly, that's the government. If you're in enforcement, the police, the army, the military, that indirectly, that's the government. So you're educated to a certain standard for you to participate in society. Also, you're educated to a certain standard so you could understand how society actually works. And what really, really amazes me is how, I don't know, how some people are stupid. Right? The facts and information is there. If you're educated to any degree of a certain level, I think you can understand it, right? That, you know, anyway, so we're under lockdown. The death rate is on average about 350 a day. The infection rate is not 10,000. It's not 15,000. It's 20,000. Average 20,000. Sometimes it's 25,000. I don't know what it's going to be like at the end of today or tomorrow or the weekend, but it's averaging 20,000. At the beginning of the first lockdown in March, it was averaging 10,000 infection a day. Now it is averaging 20,000 infection a day. The death rate is averaging, right now it's averaging 300 a day. It's gone over that 200 mark. So it's averaging 300 a day. So we got lockdown from midnight to night. Only essential services. You're not supposed to meet anybody. You only exercise. Only essential services. A lot of people don't realize it. A lot of people don't want to know. A lot of people don't believe it exists. But you'll have people in yellow jacket walking around enforcing it, whether you're a business or whether you're a person on the streets. You know. So that is about the lockdown in relation to London, UK, right now. Let me repeat where we're at. This is Hackney. Let me have a drink yet. It's Hackney. This is Gillette Square. It's the place where people normally socialize and have fun. There were businesses over there. They got shut down. Today, once again, is Wednesday, the 4th of November, 2020. Time now is about 3 p.m. Temperature outside is about 10 degrees. The weather today is not raining. It's bright. It's not overcast. I'm sure you can see the weather in the shot. But here's what. Again, I'm going to be dark, and the background's going to be fine, or maybe the whole shot might be good. I might be well lit and stuff. So here we are in Hackney, Gillette Square. It's under redevelopment. Eventually they'll probably kick everybody out, and there's new gentrification taking place. This is Hackney. It's been happening over many years. There's many things. Back to the virus. So there's lots of people who haven't been getting any money from the government. So they're in problems. There's people got to go to the food bank. There are people sleeping on the streets. There are people being kicked out of their place. Right? Some work, if you have certain kind of work, that's stopped. Right? If you're lucky, you've got money from the government. Just literally a couple of days ago, they've extended the furlough for some people, but then it is more difficult to actually get that. You know, if you got it in the first place, it may be a little bit more difficult to get it in the second place. So if you've lost your job and you can't work, the government has told you can go and claim universal credit. Universal credit is like something like £90 a week to survive on. You know, there are some people who had £300 and £400 a week to survive on. So their natural expenditure and stuff is £300-400 a week now. And to get universal credit, there's a whole heap of hoops and system you've got to jump through in order to get that. And some people don't even qualify for it, you know, and some people ain't got no money. But in a general observation, I've seen more people out on the streets. I've seen more people begging. Just now, I've seen more people begging. The part where the government had a thing in where they won't allow to evict people. That's been taken away. So if you ain't pay your rent, you're going to get evicted. I haven't heard anything that says the government has something in place to stop people being evicted. Lots of business have shut up. If you can't make arrangement with your landlord about how to pay the rent and what have you, they'll send the bailiffs in. The mortgage relief thing, I haven't heard much about that. I think they've given you a few months up to now, and now they're asking for the money. So in a very short space of time, there's going to be a lot of people losing their houses because they haven't got this mortgage relief or a halt on the mortgage. Now the companies, the mortgage companies in the bank, as far as I know, is coming and saying, well, you know, you ain't paying the mortgage. Bailiffs are coming in, will take your house away. You know, the normal bills are still coming in. You got to pay your rent. You got to food, gas, electricity, utilities, parking. I haven't used my car for a whole year, you know, but I got to pay all the bills. You know, I'm figuring out, should I keep it or not? Now we've gone into a lockdown. How? When are we going to come out of it? You know, we might go all the way through November, December, January, February, March. March is usually spring, you know. If we have a winter where it snows and we have temperatures that we haven't reached before, sometimes we have those freak weathers. In fact, during this year we had some freak weather. July broke all records. But in the virus, a nice trick, because you're meant to stay in, but the weather was so nice you had to go out, and people went out and like infected each other. You know. But let me conclude. So this time now, it is American election. It looks like Donald Trump is going to be back in for another 4 years. At the time, midday today, looking at the election results from America, Joe Biden was ahead with 200 and something, but all the sort of estimates and the poll, when people come out of the voting, they do a kind of poll, indicates that Donald Trump is gonna be the winner. He's gonna be the next president for the next 4 years. He's actually already said, call it that I'm the winner, but everybody says no. You've got to wait until all of the votes are in, and the fat lady sings. You know, so you got to wait until all the votes, you know, all the numbers, right? But on statistics and the polling, it looks like he's going to win the game. You know. So back here in the UK, we got we got 3 big pandemics. The biggest virus is the one in the White House, or the one in the White House is going to be there for another 4 years. So America, I feel sorry for you. You know, whether you want to take heed, there is a virus, or you don't want to take heed, there's a virus. People are dying. You know, it's 200,000 and 230,000 around now of people dying. If I make a guess, by the end of winter, if we add the cold weather, we add the seasons in. I don't know if you can see it, but in the background there we got the yellow enforcers, like I said. So they will be there enforcing the lockdown, enforcing that you're keeping your distance, enforcing as a business that you're closed, or you're supposed to be open, or what have you. So that they're really gonna kick in tomorrow after midnight, you know. But yeah, so back to where we're at now. So we have Donald Trump as one of the biggest virus in America, and he's going to be there for another 4 years. So I'm feeling sorry there for the American people. So 200,000 people have died. I believe you're going to have another 200,000 by the end of the fall, by the end of the winter. The other thing we have happening here is actually Brexit. Right? So yesterday, the 31st of October, was when things was meant to be settled, but all of a sudden that's gone silent. But the enforcement of Brexit starts from the 1st of January 2021. So November, in about 8 weeks time. So that is going to be enforced. Oh, it's a lovely scene. Gotta get the enforcers there. That's it. Am I there? Right, yeah. So the 1st of January 2021, this is when the new Brexit, what was agreed, is now going to be enforced. Now, we're going to have a lot of new legislation. Things that we were allowed to do would suddenly stop doing because of Europe won't be overseeing it or looking after us. There might be abuse of our government against us, believe it or not. Right? So being in Europe, there's certain legislation, certain rules and regulation, even working, even holiday, work time, and other statutory things, which is going to be taken away from us. Right? So that's from the 1st of January. That was meant to all be negotiated from a couple of days ago. Everything was meant to be agreed. 31st of October. Guy Fawkes. So tomorrow is the 5th of November is fireworks, but there will be no fireworks because it's the implementation of the lockdown. So the third thing is going to be the lockdown, and the implementation is like from tomorrow. So so these are the three major things, and what is going to happen? What's going to happen from tomorrow? People suddenly going to realize that they're going to go a bit crazy because they're now in a totally different world. They're going to go a bit crazy. They're not going to be acting logically, as I say, rational. They'll be acting irrational. And when you act irrational, if you're driving and you get into an accident, irrational, that let's say that's a criminal offense, or you get into an argument with somebody, you act irrational, that's a violent offense. So on that realization, people just going to lose it. So best to avoid people, actually best to avoid people anyway, because they might give you the virus. So for the next week or so, and especially this weekend, I make a prediction. They're going to start going to the shop and buying the shop out. They're just going to panic for a while, and after a while, they're just going to settle down and realize we're in a new world. And like I said in my last video cast, we're going to go through. It's a roller coaster ride. We're going to go through this tunnel. The tunnel actually starts tomorrow. I don't know what's at the end of it. I don't even know if I'm going to make it at the end of it, because word is the virus mutates, and if it didn't get you the first time, it might get you the second time. Also, if the virus don't get you and your health is bad, and with the weather, average temperature today is average 10 degrees, so you can literally feel cold. See anybody in the background, part of their covering is because of the cold weather. So if the cold weather doesn't get you, the virus doesn't get you, your economic situation doesn't get you, then when you come through the other end, you'll be a super person. This is like when the asteroid hit the Earth and it wiped out the dinosaur. This is the equivalent of that. This is the virus that hit the Earth, and it's going to wipe out a lot more people. Plus, it's showing all the flaws of our economic situation, our political situation, our social situation, our educational situation, our personal health situation. So all the flaws and all the cracks in society, in finance, it's exploiting that. All right. So let me end this webcast today. Let me give you a time stamp again. So today is Wednesday, the 4th of November 2020. Time now is around 3 p.m. Temperature is about 10 degrees. It's cold. This is autumn. Nice day today. No rain today, but the last few days it's been raining almost 24/7. Exactly. The lockdown is about to begin tomorrow. We're about to enter a completely different phase of life. See you on the next webcast.
No, I said yeah.